The history and culture of Native Americans have been among the most extensively discussed subjects throughout human civilization. While many are familiar with Native American tribes as a community that has faced displacement and adversity, there exists a wealth of knowledge that remains largely unexplored. This information has the potential to transform our comprehension of Native American tribes, highlighting their languages, customs, and remarkable innovations. We invite you to join us for an engaging episode of Native Journal, where we will reveal 9 astonishing facts about Native American tribes. These insights will enhance your appreciation for the depth of their traditions, their remarkable resilience, and the significant contributions they have made to our world. These narratives have been obscured for far too long, and we are eager to share them with you. Therefore, we encourage you to sit back, relax, and embark on this thrilling journey with us. As you view this video, please remember to click the like button and subscribe to our channel to support our community. Native Americans are the indigenous peoples of the United States, also known as American Indians or Indigenous Americans. The term Indian was coined by Christopher Columbus, who erroneously thought he had arrived in the East Indies and referred to the indigenous peoples he encountered as Indians. Native American tribes possess a rich tapestry of diverse cultures, languages, and traditions. From the ancient civilizations of the Anasazi to their lasting impact on contemporary society, their heritage stands as a testament to resilience and cultural richness. With more than 500 distinct nations, these communities are actively engaged in revitalizing their traditions, highlighting the significance of language preservation, cultural celebrations, and artistic endeavors. Native Americans have been instrumental in shaping history and continue to make substantial contributions to our collective cultural heritage. In the United States, over 9 million Native Americans belong to numerous tribal nations, each possessing its own unique languages, cultures, and traditions. Native Americans have resided on this continent since ancient times, spanning from the northern reaches of Alaska to the Gulf Coast of Florida. However, there are several intriguing aspects of this rich heritage that may come as a surprise. Let us explore some captivating facts about Native American tribes and their histories that are often overlooked. 1. Native Americans communicated in more than 300 languages. Prior to colonization, North America was home to an astonishing variety of spoken languages, with estimates suggesting that over 300, and possibly as many as 500, languages were in use across the continent. Unfortunately, many of these languages have vanished due to government assimilation policies. In 1868, President Ulysses S. Grant expressed the government's position on language, stating, "In the difference of language, today lies two-thirds of our trouble. Their barbarous dialect should be blotted out, and the English language substituted." This statement initiated a series of measures aimed at suppressing Native American languages. Throughout the 1800s, Native Americans were forcibly displaced from their ancestral lands and confined to reservations. Furthermore, children were separated from their families and placed in Indian boarding schools, where they were educated in English. These practices significantly contributed to the decline of native languages. It was not until the passage of the Indian Education Act in 1972 that Native American tribes were granted the right to teach their languages. The repercussions of past actions had already manifested. By the year 2013, merely 169 native languages remained in use across the United States, many of which had only a few speakers. Acknowledging the critical nature of this issue, Congress enacted the Native American Language Act in 1990, which aimed to support efforts for the preservation and revitalization of Native American languages. This assistance is vital, as nearly all but 2 of these languages face the threat of extinction by 2050 unless proactive measures are implemented to safeguard and promote them. The first newspaper published in a Native American language emerged in 1828. Before European settlers arrived, Native American languages were primarily spoken and transmitted orally through generations. However, the arrival of European settlers initiated significant changes within various Native American tribes, leading them to adopt written forms of communication. A notable example of this transformation occurred in the Cherokee Nation, largely due to the pioneering work of Sequoyah. A member of the Cherokee Nation, Sequoyah dedicated 12 years to developing a writing system for his people, resulting in an 86-character syllabary by 1821. Dr. Ellen Cushman, a member of the Cherokee Nation and a professor at Northeastern University, emphasizes the uniqueness of the Cherokee syllabary. Unlike other syllabic scripts worldwide, such as Japanese hiragana, this was the only one created by a native individual specifically for a native community. The Cherokee syllabary is distinguished by its direct alignment with the sounds and phonetics of the Cherokee language, making it an accessible tool for its speakers. Cushman notes that members of the Cherokee tribe could achieve reading and writing proficiency within a relatively brief period of 3 to 5 years using this innovative script. A significant milestone in Cherokee literacy was reached on February 21, 1828, with the launch of the Cherokee Phoenix in New Echota, Georgia. This event marked the first bilingual newspaper in the United States, featuring articles in both English and Cherokee. The Cherokee Phoenix was instrumental in safeguarding and promoting the Cherokee language and culture, highlighting the resilience of indigenous innovation amidst external pressures. In total, there are 574 federally recognized tribes within the United States. Of these, a notable 229 tribes are located in Alaska, making it the state with the highest number of recognized tribes. California follows closely, with 109 federally recognized tribes and the distinction of having the largest Native American population in the country. These tribes maintain a unique government-to-government relationship with the United States, similar to that of sovereign nations. This status grants them specific rights and responsibilities, including the capacity to negotiate and collaborate with the federal government on various issues. However, it is important to recognize that not all Native American tribes possess federal recognition. A significant number remain unrecognized, which limits their eligibility for various government programs and support initiatives. This lack of recognition can severely affect their access to vital resources and services. As of 2020, 66 tribes across 13 states have received state recognition. While this recognition does not automatically confer access to state or federal benefits, it serves as a crucial acknowledgement of their historical and ongoing presence. State-recognized tribes often leverage this status to advocate for their rights and pursue opportunities for collaboration with state and federal authorities to enhance their communities. Furthermore, Native Americans have historically cultivated many of the world's most significant crops, reflecting their diverse diets that are deeply intertwined with local food systems. The culinary practices of various Native American communities have been significantly influenced by the resources available in their regions. Agriculture has been fundamental to these communities, with tribes cultivating and domesticating crops that are now essential to contemporary diets. A remarkable indicator of their agricultural success is the estimation that, in 2016, approximately 60% of the global food supply originated from crops developed in North America. Among these vital crops, corn is particularly noteworthy as a significant achievement of indigenous farmers. Its cultivation dates back around 10,000 years to the regions of southern Mexico and Guatemala, long before European colonists arrived in North America. Native Americans had been growing corn for thousands of years, establishing it as a dietary staple. In addition to corn, the agricultural practices of Native Americans included other important crops such as beans, squash, potatoes, and tomatoes. These crops not only provided sustenance for the tribes, but also had a profound impact on the global food system, shaping the culinary traditions of the Americas and beyond. Furthermore, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, recognized as one of the oldest living democracies in the world, was formed by 6 tribal nations: the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Tuscarora, and Seneca. While some scholars propose that it was established in 1142, the Confederacy asserts its existence since time immemorial, making it one of the earliest examples of participatory democracy. These nations are united by the Great Law of Peace, known as Kaya-Narakoa, which serves as their political constitution. In the 18th century, the Tuscarora joined as the 6th and final nation in this confederation. Dr. Donald A. Grinde, Jr., an author and professor of Yamasee heritage at the University at Buffalo, highlights the distinctive nature of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. He asserts that although numerous tribes engage in democratic practices, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy stands out for its ability to unite individuals across extensive geographic areas. Grinday's investigation emphasizes the Confederacy's impact on the United States Constitution, identifying three key contributions. Firstly, it established the principle that sovereignty is vested in the populace. Secondly, it influenced the creation of a separation of powers, resulting in distinct governmental branches. Thirdly, it provided a framework for a constitution with appropriate articles, akin to the annual recitation of their Great Law of Peace by the Haudenosaunee. Furthermore, the Indian Relocation Act of 1830 forcibly displaced Native Americans. Prior to European colonization, Native Americans occupied the entirety of what is now the United States. A significant historical event transpired in 1830 when President Andrew Jackson supported the Indian Removal Act. This legislation was largely driven by the aspirations of white settlers seeking to cultivate cotton in the fertile Southern territories, often at the expense of the Choctaw, Cherokee, Creek, and other indigenous tribes. The Indian Removal Act was harshly enforced to force Native American communities to abandon their ancestral lands in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. These indigenous populations were subsequently relocated to a designated area known as Indian Territory, located in present-day Oklahoma. Unfortunately, the repercussions of this relocation were catastrophic, resulting in the loss of thousands of lives during these coerced migrations. The Indian Removal Act signifies a grim period in American history, characterized by the systematic displacement, suffering, and loss of life experienced by Native American communities. This text serves as a poignant reminder of the injustices and adversities endured by indigenous peoples who were forcibly removed from their ancestral lands in the quest for economic profit by white settlers. The sorrowful legacy of this displacement continues to affect Native American communities and their descendants today, highlighting the necessity of recognizing and addressing historical wrongs while striving for reconciliation and healing. In 1924, Native Americans were granted American citizenship through the Indian Citizenship Act, which was enacted by President Calvin Coolidge on June 2, 1924. This legislation represented a significant advancement in the legal status of Native Americans within the United States. Prior to this act, some Native Americans had already been acknowledged as U.S. citizens under the 1887 Dawes Act, which conferred citizenship upon those who accepted land allotments. However, despite this initial acknowledgement, the full realization of citizenship remained out of reach for many Native Americans. The right to vote, a fundamental component of citizenship, was subject to the regulations of individual states, and regrettably, numerous states systematically denied this right to Native Americans for many years. Various discriminatory practices were employed to limit Native Americans' access to the electoral process. A notable example was the use of literacy tests, which effectively excluded individuals who were unable to read and write in English from participating in elections. This disenfranchisement affected not only Native Americans, but also other marginalized groups. Such injustices persisted until the landmark passage of the Voting Rights Act in 1965, which sought to eliminate the systemic barriers that hindered marginalized communities, including Native Americans, from exercising their voting rights freely and without discrimination. Ultimately, the Indian Citizenship Act of 1924 was a vital milestone in the recognition of Native Americans as U.S. citizens. It required several additional decades and the implementation of the Voting Rights Act to ensure their complete and equal involvement in the democratic process, ultimately putting an end to the discriminatory practices that had endured for far too long. The Navajo Nation possesses the largest tribal land in the United States, encompassing an extensive area of nearly 25,000 square miles, which is comparable to the size of West Virginia and more than double that of Maryland. This vast territory spans across Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah, making it one of the largest Native American reservations in the country. In 2021, the Navajo Nation reached a significant achievement by surpassing the Cherokee Nation in population, thereby establishing itself as the largest tribe by this measure. This distinction was marked by an impressive milestone of nearly 400,000 registered members within the Navajo Nation, underscoring the robust and vibrant Navajo community. It is noteworthy that the Navajo Nation has the highest number of speakers of any Native American language, reflecting the commitment to preserving and promoting the Navajo language, which is integral to the culture and identity of the Navajo people. The dedication to maintaining and transmitting their linguistic heritage has been crucial in sustaining the cultural traditions of the Navajo Nation and affirming their unique position in the history of Native American communities in the United States. Furthermore, Native Americans face higher rates of suicide compared to any other demographic groups in the U.S. Historically, the challenges encountered by young Native Americans and their significantly elevated suicide rates have raised considerable concern within society. Data from various organizations, including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the Indian Health Service, IHS, consistently indicate that these rates surpass the national average. Historical records indicate that the suicide rate among Native American youth has frequently been around 2.5 times greater than the national average. This persistent issue is intricately linked to a variety of factors, including the enduring effects of historical trauma, cultural disconnection, economic challenges, and insufficient mental health services in many tribal communities. Throughout history, initiatives aimed at addressing this concern have encompassed culturally appropriate prevention and intervention programs, the enhancement of mental health services, and a dedicated effort to bolster community support systems. Despite these historical measures, the issue remains a significant challenge, underscoring the need for ongoing attention and support to enhance mental health outcomes for Native American populations. The circumstances surrounding Native Americans in the United States reveal a complex and layered history. Their rich cultural heritage contrasts sharply with the painful experiences of colonization, forced displacement, and the lasting effects of historical trauma, emphasizing the necessity of recognizing and tackling the difficulties faced by Native American communities. Advancing cultural preservation, ensuring equitable access to resources, and fostering reconciliation are essential steps toward promoting understanding and enhancing their overall well-being. In contemporary society, Native American communities are actively working to preserve their cultural identities while navigating the challenges of modern life. Through cultural events, educational initiatives, and various forms of expression, they strive to keep their traditions and values alive and celebrated. Language revitalization programs are central to these efforts, as many tribes are diligently working to safeguard and restore their native languages, acknowledging that language serves not only as a tool for communication, but also as a vital link to ancestral knowledge and identity. The storytelling traditions of Native American communities have profoundly influenced a multitude of authors, while their artistic expressions are showcased in museums and galleries across the globe. Renowned athletes such as Jim Thorpe and Billy Mills have made significant contributions to the realm of sports, exemplifying both excellence and resilience. It is essential to recognize the richness and variety of Native American culture, moving beyond superficial stereotypes. By bringing attention to these often overlooked aspects and their relevance today, we pay tribute to the heritage of Native American tribes and promote a more comprehensive understanding of their culture in contemporary society. We appreciate your engagement with this content. Please feel free to share your insights regarding these facts in the comments section. We kindly remind you to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and activate the notification bell to receive updates whenever we post new content of this nature. Thank you for your viewership.